So, am I audible? Deepthi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Deepthi?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, okay. Please try to switch on the video. Just let us discuss what you did at home. Then I will summarize. But you can tell me what you understood about the assignments and what you did. Who will share? Deepthi?
Yes, sir. I submitted the answer on Padlet for yesterday's topic.
Yes, that is with me.
And went through the 2 videos which you shared with us.
Okay, good. Gautam? Gautam, you did anything? Unmute.
So I went through the videos you posted in the videos.
So did you go through those videos?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Did you understand the method that all the things are clubbed under one collection in Booklet? Questions, videos, images.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So all of them at one place.
Yes.
Okay. So did you go through those videos?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Only 2 videos. So the trial of Socrates and your
yes. 2 videos. Good. Hanumanta? Did you go through those videos? Okay. Hanumant, Sunil. Okay. Hello, Sunil. How are you?
Sir, I'm good.
Okay.
Nice to see you again.
Sure. Bharat?
Sir.
Did you go through those videos?
Yes, sir. I went through those videos.
Very good.
2 videos.
Okay. Very good. Bathini? Nikhil? I think you didn't come yesterday. Unmute yourself.
It's Nikhil.
Okay,
sir.
your name Nikhil.
Yeah.
Nikhil.
I went through the lectures, sir, and written a short notes.
You wrote short notes. Oh,
yeah.
That is good. Okay. Hanumanta? Hanumanta didn't come yesterday, I think. Unmute yourself. Okay. This advantage student has online. If he wants to be there, he will be there. Otherwise, he won't. Okay. Now, Sunil, you have any idea? Did you take any assignment? Were you following us?
Sir, I couldn't write the Padlet one, but I went through the videos, both of them.
Okay, fine. I'll give a summary. So, but then I want you to share your impressions. Okay, I mean, broad generalizations. What did you learn? Karim, you want to say something? I'll come to the lecture. One more thing. Did you understand this Padlet part? I mean,
Yes,
I received only one answer, but is it clear? Okay.
Should we log in through our email ID or something?
Exactly. You should log in. If you don't log in, then your answer will appear as from anonymous.
Yeah, okay.
On the other hand, you create an account, then your name will appear.
Okay.
So you create an account, and then once answers are submitted, you can take a PDF of Padlet and keep it with you. So you can, that is a way of recording all your answers as well as others' answers. Okay. Take a PDF of the board. So you will have a copy. So you will have a record of all your answers. Okay. So once an assignment is over, you take a PDF. Otherwise, what happens is that once I remove Padlet, you will not have your answers. Okay. These are all linked to my account of Padlet. Okay. So once the assignment is over, you take a PDF and keep it with you. You are no longer dependent on me.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let somebody start with some initial observations and then I'll go to discussion. Karim, you want to say something? What is this person, Socrates, and what did you learn? Some initial observations.
Socrates was a Greek philosopher. Initially, he was into to the government activity, something like military or civil other matters as well. So through the government, he even took part in that war of Peloponnesia. So though he was part of all those as well, but parallelly he kept on giving some teachings of what is ethical or what is moral, how to be moral, and what is virtue. Virtue is knowledge. He just stresses on
just one second.
virtue.
Just 1 second. You wanted to say you said something about the context. Okay, I'll just show you the context. Okay, he's Socrates. Died in 399 BC. Okay, at the age of 70 years. See, this is the context. Socrates belongs to, do you see this place? Athens. Athens. This one. Okay. Athens and Sparta were at war with each other. That war was called Peloponnesian War. And Athens lost the war. Athens lost the war. And after Athens was lost, some aristocracy came to power with the help of Spartans. Otherwise, Athens was a direct democracy. Direct democracy means that people would assemble at one place and vote. Okay. Ours is an indirect democracy where we vote some legislators and the legislators select the executive. So Athens was a direct democracy, but slaves and women were not involved. So it was Athens lost in the war. Aristocracy came to rule. But after that, that aristocracy went out and democracy came to power. And it is the democratic system that put Socrates on trial, and he was forced to take poison. Okay, so that was the context of the trial. So that's why you see in the trial, there were so many charges leveled against him that, see, we are in ruins, we are suffering, okay, so many things, and to whom all this can we attribute to? So some said it is to Socrates. So this is the context. This is the context. And Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle put together gave foundations to Western political thought. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle put together. But in this ethics course, though we cover many political thinkers, we will be focusing on ethical part of their teaching, not the political part. It's about ethical part of their thought. Okay, so that is the context. Okay, now, okay, you are saying something, Karim?
Yes, so after the democratic power, when people started, not only people around him, and even the rulers, they were against him, that he's anti-religious and spreading some ideas which were not correct. And so then he was charged with this death sentence, like he was given poison to eat. That last moment, like how
many rounds of voting took place before he was asked to take poison?
3 rounds.
3 rounds or 2 rounds?
2 rounds.
2 rounds. First round.
First round, whether he is acquitted or convicted.
The method of
and whether he would agree with that penalty or not.
Yes.
So okay, fine. Karim.
Yes, sir. So that last moment, how Plato has, Plato has described the scenario,
Okay.
how it was, and how Socrates has taken it in his last moment.
That is true. Okay. You can read this book also. This book gives a summary. Okay. It's a very simple summary.
Yes, sir. I went through.
You have this only, right? Because it is easier to read than watch. But videos are more comprehensive because I made the videos after the book and the classes. So videos are more comprehensive. Of course, much more comprehensive book is coming now, but under political thought. So I am doing all of them in detail. Okay. Okay. Next, what is it that is appealing about Socrates as a person? What is it that is striking about him?
He gives more importance to virtue and the character building perspective.
He gave importance to character building. Okay. But what kind of a character?
So he always thought everything in terms of righteousness. So virtue is knowledge, something like that. So everything he has seen through that point of view. That he disagrees that whatever society does, that is right, that is not like that. So whichever, based on the nature of that action, it is to be this thing. And one more,
just 1 second. So whatever the society says is need not be right.
Yes.
Okay. So society need not be right. Okay.
And most important thing is, he says that whoever commits sin or whoever is the wrongdoer, so he says that it is not because that they intend to do, but he says that it is a kind of ignorance of righteousness.
Ignorance is the reason for
Wrongdoing, wrong actions,
immorality
immorality,
or unethical. Okay.
He
See,
gave
for the
the
time, just 1 second. For the time being, we are using all these words synonymously. Goodness, ethical, moral. Good, ethical, and moral. Bad, unethical, immoral. Later we will make distinction, but as of now it is this. Because some people would say ethics is about a reflection. Moral is about social code. Just switch on this light. So moral is about society, ethics is about reflection. Okay. Moral, society, ethical as a result of reflection. So society need not be good. That is one. And another thing is, it is ignorance that is the cause of unethical behavior. So what he said was, virtue is knowledge. That is one very important statement. Remember in this examination, remember quotations. What did Divya say? She said, in each answer, she used at least 1 or 2 quotations. So memorize 3 quotations minimum for the Socrates topic. Virtue is knowledge is one. So if one is unethical or immoral or doing bad things, it is because of the ignorance, which means solution to unethical behavior is education, wisdom, knowledge. So virtue is knowledge. Okay, virtue is knowledge. Virtue is knowledge is not the same thing as a knowledge as a virtue. Knowledge as a virtue means being knowledgeable is a good quality. Being knowledgeable is a good quality is not what Socrates is saying. Okay, but if you have the knowledge, that itself is goodness. So it is not knowledge for knowledge's sake. Okay. But how can knowledge contribute to goodness? Socrates is talking about knowledge of self. It's not engineering knowledge, science knowledge, physics, no. He's talking about knowledge of self. It is knowledge of self that contributes to goodness. Knowledge of what makes one happy, what makes one unhappy. So in that sense, he's saying virtue is knowledge. Very tricky statement. Confusion between virtue is knowledge and knowledge is virtue. Okay. So it is the if you are knowledgeable, Socrates is referring to self-knowledge, then you will be a good person. Which means if you are a bad person, it must be because of your ignorance. Okay.
So what is the difference?
For example, knowledge is a virtue, means you have some knowledge. Virtue there means some kind of an asset. Knowledge is a virtue. Virtue means some asset. So knowledge in itself has to be respected. That is modern conception. Knowledge is a virtue. Virtue there is not meant to be goodness. But virtue is knowledge. He basically, if that statement is confusing, you can forget. You can say goodness is a result of knowledge. Or you can say ignorance, this is better. Ignorance leads to immorality. That is to say, why, if you are immoral, it is ignorance. It is due to ignorance. So basically, if you are unethical, if you are immoral, it is because of your ignorance. If you are knowledgeable, you will be good. But remember, you need not agree with these statements. You can just see that's what Socrates said, and you are free to disagree.
What is ignorance?
Ignorance, he would say, ignorance of self. Okay. If you don't know yourself, then you are likely to do things which are immoral. Okay. I'll show you some film clippings that highlight this. I'll do it tomorrow. And then, how do you get knowledge? He says you get knowledge by examining your life. So one more important quotation of Socrates is, unexamined life is not worth living. Unexamined life is not worth living. Okay, unexamined life is not worth living. So he says that we should examine our life. That is, we should introspect. Why are we doing what we are doing? Okay. If we introspect, then we'll find out what makes us happy. And when we understand what makes us happy, we will do the right thing. That right thing happens to be good thing. So to Socrates, knowledge and goodness are connected. And if you are knowledgeable and if you are doing good things, you will also be happy. So to Socrates, knowledge and goodness and happiness, they are all interrelated. But remember, you can question. But that is what Socrates thought. Socrates was facing trial. He was going to die. But was he unhappy? No. Was he knowledgeable? Yes. Was he doing good things? He thought he was doing good things, though people around him did not think so. So his definition of goodness and society's definition of goodness did not match. His definition of happiness, society's definition of happiness did not match. People around him were crying, but Socrates was not crying. Socrates was happy. Socrates thought he was good. And he thought he was doing it. He was doing right thing because of his knowledge. So Socrates thought that way. It is not necessary you should agree. The purpose of study of ethics is to make you reflect on what is to be good. It is not that somebody gave a definition of goodness and you are going to be good. Not like that. We are going to find out what is to be good. Not planning to be good according to somebody's definition of goodness. Socrates was not good according to somebody's definition. Socrates was good according to his own definition.
Hello.
Just tell me. First, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Then you can ask some questions.
So like Socrates also said, when we are self-introspecting to pursue knowledge, we should also think about what makes society happy. That point also he said. We should think what makes us happy, unhappy, what makes society happy or unhappy. So when Socrates was introspecting, he must have known that what makes society unhappy. So when he knows what makes society unhappy, and still he is postulating his principles, then how can he feel happy? Sir? I felt little contradictory.
Tell me, is the question understood? Nikhil, are you asking that he is going to make the society unhappy? And how can he be happy when he is going to make society unhappy? That's
Yes,
your
sir.
question, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Deepthi, what's your answer?
Sir, I'm not sure.
You're not sure. But let me ask you one methodological issue. I think we should write questions like this somewhere in our forum. Okay, where should we write? Tell me.
A Google Doc would be good.
Maybe in the wakelet itself, I'll provide space. Okay. So Nikhil, you should write your question. Okay. So what he is asking is, when the society is going to be unhappy, why is Socrates doing these things? Okay. I am attempting how Socrates would think. Happiness, is not a matter of you are happy when you like certain things and unhappy when you don't like. Socrates thinks that you are happy when you know real things, when you know really. The society doesn't know. In fact, that society was just defeated through faulty policies. That was the political situation. Destroyed itself. Because it didn't really know itself. So just because if you say, I am happy, Socrates will not say, yes, you are happy. Socrates will say, no, you really don't know your happiness. So that's why knowledge is also an important component. Of course, you can say, how can you say only your knowledge is right and my knowledge is wrong? That is debatable. But that is how Socrates thinks. Others did not agree what to do. So one very important thing about Greek thought is either Socrates or Plato or Aristotle have really respect for people's opinions. They listen, they find out, but they don't think that is truth. And I would say that is the problem with democracy. Democracy goes by opinions, but truth is not opinions. So when somebody says that I am happy and I am knowledgeable, Socrates may say you are ignorant and you are unhappy also. Why? Because you are just feeling so, you won't. That is not true happiness because there is no foundation to that happiness. Maybe you can criticize Socrates on the ground that, see, from the way you are defining, you have all and we don't have any. What to do? So Socrates doesn't respect others' happiness and unhappiness. Socrates only will have to certify whether you are happy or not. There is no other way. We'll discuss what actually is happiness, how is it different from pleasure, what is knowledge, how is it different from ignorance, why are some people very knowledgeable and then do immoral things. These are all the issues. But Socratic position is, the position of Plato and Aristotle also, is that knowledge gives rise to goodness, and that is also happiness. So to them, an immoral person cannot be happy. So Nikhil, at least one answer.
Yes, sir, I got little.
That's true. But let us raise certain questions and we'll create a platform where you pose questions like this and then you can also answer, attempt answers. Okay. I'll see how we can use the same software of Wakelet to do this. Okay, next. So, to Socrates, knowledge, happiness, and goodness are all interlinked. Knowledge is about self-knowledge. Happiness is about not simply pleasure and simply saying I am happy. And goodness is about not what the society thinks as good. You know what? When those people asked him to choose the penalty, he said, why should I choose penalty for doing something good? He said, I should be given the one that is given to a person who won a war. They were enraged. Look at this person's audacity. We are asking him to choose a penalty and he's saying that he should be adored or he should be treated like a victor in a war. What kind of a person he is? So Socrates thinks that we should do certain things. He is not agreeing with the society. Socrates knows he is right. He knows that society is wrong. So there is a mismatch between the society and him. Mismatch between a wise person and the crowd. Mismatch between truth and opinions, prejudice. And how to run democracy successfully. If people are like this, when they can kill a knowledgeable person, a wise man, what is this democracy? These are all the things that Plato raised. He knows that Socrates is the most just person. And he was killed legally through a democratic vote, through consensus. So what is law? What is the state? How do we know what is right? So these are all the issues that Socratic trial raises. And is it really true that goodness and happiness come together if one has knowledge? How true is that? So that is another issue. Okay, so these are all the issues.
One point here.
Hmm.
Sir, during this self-introspection,
Hmm.
like one may also introspect what is bad within him.
What is?
What is at the same time, along with goodness, he will also introspect what are wrongs with him, wrong things that is going on with his life, or what bad things he have done.
That is what introspection is.
Yes, sir.
What are the bad things we are doing?
So when a person knows the bad things within him, will it also lead to happiness?
It will make him better person when he knows that he is doing bad things, because they are likely to change. How do you change? How do you become a better person? You become a better person first when you know that you are not a good person. So introspection is supposed to show us where we are bad and how we can improve and how to go about. So for example, if you don't know where you are, can you improve in your exam? No. So understanding of one's limitations and one's badness is very important. You see envy in yourself. You recognize, okay, this is what is going on. You understand this is the reason. So when somebody else envies you, you will understand why he is envying you. So that will help you understand him better. And when you are understanding him, you will understand man in general better. And all this is knowledge. It is not that you will find good things about you and so you are happy. Not like that. You will find good things and bad things. So you know what you are and you know what can make you happy, but on a long-term basis. And that makes you do good things. That is Socrates' proposal. It is not that you will understand good things, you will see good things in you, and so you are happy, and when you learn bad things in you, you will be unhappy. It is not like that. You understand yourself. In fact, you understand yourself when you are prepared to look at bad things in you. People usually want to look at only good things in themselves. They don't accept others' criticism and they don't look at themselves in a negative way. So they attribute all negative things to others and positive things to themselves. That is ignorance. On the other hand, if they see negative things in themselves and also positive things in others, then that is a better communication, better understanding. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Bharat? Bharat, you have questions? So,
Sir, I have a question.
Please.
Sir, what if someone doesn't know, he thinks what is bad, actually it is good for him? So what if someone thinks what is actually bad, but that person thinks it is good for him? So he doesn't know that it is bad in itself, but he thinks that it is good, but it is actually bad.
That is true. That is the problem Socrates also faced. Socrates thinks that what the society is doing is bad and he should educate. And that meant questioning. But what did society think? you are making people think that itself is wrong. So let me come to your question. That precisely is the Socrates problem. Society thought it was good, but Socrates thought, no, you are bad. For example, one father complains that I lost my son to Socrates. Earlier, he used to obey me. He was very obedient, but now he's spoiled. So one of the charges against Socrates is corrupting the youth. How did Socrates convince him? In that video, that guy was going to a fish market. Socrates asked, where are you going? Fish market. Why? To buy fish. To buy vegetables, where will you go? Vegetable market. Convinced. Next, Socrates asked one intriguing question. Suppose you want to be wise, where will you go? That boy is confused. He said, now you come with me. And his father complains that after that, I lost him. Socrates thinks what he is doing is good for the boy. But his father thinks his son is being corrupted. So it is a contestation on what is good. Socrates thinks the boy should question, whereas his father thinks the boy should obey. So because Socrates is asking people to question, he is accused of inventing new gods. By gods, they meant new values. There were many charges against him. Some of them he rejected. Some charges were related to political nature, some charges related to science. But he said, no, I don't have anything to do with science. Charges that he was taking money, Socrates said no. But there are certain charges he accepted, that I am influencing them. I want them to question. So that is a problem. You are saying that is not good for you, whereas he thinks, no, it is good for me. That is the standard problem in life. Isn't it so, Sunil?
But that way, no one would know what is good and what is bad.
That is why we are interested in discussion. Just because there is no consensus, it doesn't mean we won't discuss. So, why are there so many views on what is goodness and how do we settle this? And if we settle on what is goodness, how do we make people good and should we make them good? These are all the issues.
But then, sir, how one will develop oneself?
How
will one develop oneself? Socrates said that one should know what is good and what is bad about himself.
That is true.
But then
that is why he said, unexamined life is not worth living. Introspection.
Right.
You fell in love. Why? Not working hard. Not getting up. Why? Enjoying certain things. Why? If you did this instead of that, why? Somebody insulted you. Why were you hurt? Somebody praised you. Why were you so happy? All these things constitute to examining life. To Socrates, unexamined life is just not worth living. Not that you improve yourself. It is not like that. If you don't, it's meaningless life, mechanical life, robotic. So it is from such an examination you will get knowledge.
That is where my question is. So one doesn't know what is good and bad for himself. So he won't be able to develop himself, improve what upon, as Socrates said, you need to improve your life and all that, examine it. So
Exactly.
until one can reach the examination, he doesn't know what is correct and what is wrong. So he
Yes.
cannot improve. And that way he cannot be any day ethical that way.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying no one can be ethical as per Socrates' explanation.
No one can be perfect.
Ethical as per Socrates' explanation.
No. No, you mean to say one doesn't examine and so he won't be ethical. How can you say that?
No, I'm saying a person is there.
Hmm.
So for him to be moral and ethical, he should ponder upon what is good and bad about himself. Introspection. But then but we know
Not
that
only
there is,
good and bad about himself, but various reactions.
yeah, right, about himself and the society around himself and how he should respond and everything relating to that. So, but then we do not have a consensus about what is good and bad, right? So once he does not have a consensus upon what is good and bad, and this good and bad actually leads to ethicality and morality, what Socrates said. So no one can be ethical and moral because no one has a consensus on what is good and bad. I'm saying that way. Should I repeat, sir?
No. You are saying that nobody will have a complete knowledge.
Then no one will be ethical as per Socrates' definition.
What is Socrates saying as ethical?
Socrates saying one cannot be ethical and moral until he introspects his life and identifies what is good and bad about himself and his response and how it is good and bad in relation to how he behaving with other people. But then since we do not have a consensus about what is good and bad, this also comes from Socrates, that you identify what is good and bad for yourself. So once we cannot identify what is good and bad for ourselves, how can we know what is ethical? No one can be ethical because it is.
Find out happy or unhappy for oneself. Happy and unhappy are subjective states. Are you following? Happy and unhappy. Find out, that is, acquire knowledge about this. If you acquire knowledge on what makes you happy, you will invariably be a good person. You are thinking in terms of a person should know what is good for him, not like that. Goodness is the one that contributes to happiness. And happiness is not simple, a temporary thing. So introspect about you, and you will invariably see it is goodness. And goodness means when you are happy, society also is happy. Though, as in the case of Socrates, society may not recognize. So that is how Socrates is thinking. Tell me, is this point clear?
It is clear, sir.
Hmm.
But then there is also a point that he says that to be ethical, one should introspect.
To be happy.
To be happy, one should introspect.
Hmm. And out of introspection, you act, you do certain things.
Hmm.
They will be good, according to Socrates.
Okay, so it is not universal.
Hmm?
Okay, fine.
Hmm.
Okay.
So to Socrates, there is no conflict between goodness and happiness. But that conflict will disappear when you have the right knowledge. When you don't have the right knowledge, you won't understand what makes you really happy, and you do things which will, in the end, lead you to unhappiness. It is like that. So that is why to Socrates, there is a unity across all these three variables: knowledge, goodness, and happiness. So
Sir,
though he was facing the trial, he was happy. And what he was doing, he thought it was good. And he was knowledgeable. It was his knowledge he was able to acquire. He was able to do those things. Bharat?
Sir, Socrates is saying that
Hmm?
so Socrates thinks that happiness, a complete life of happiness is possible according to him.
Exactly.
But happiness and sadness are both, two sides of the same coin. So without sadness, you can't experience happiness.
No. Socrates takes happiness in a different way. Happiness in a different way.
So
Happiness is it's not like something temporary. The way you take sadness, the way you take sorrow is also a matter of happiness. It is like that. We will discuss.
okay.
Sir,
Hmm.
so this whole introspection involves, having right knowledge. So
Yes, introspection is to have right knowledge.
right knowledge. So what is the yardstick to measure whether we are going in right knowledge path?
That should contribute to happiness.
So that should, and this happiness is also like not a pleasure and everything. It is
Exactly.
something beyond this.
Exactly. Not temporary things.
Not temporary.
Hmm.
And at the same time, this happiness in the long term will do good for the society.
Exactly.
Will make the society happy.
Exactly. And also
So,
to oneself.
To oneself. Okay. Got it, sir.
Very good. Deepti? Deepti, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You raised very important questions, and the discussion is really good. I think the discussion is good because you already watched those two videos. Otherwise, in the class, I would have taken more time to convey that. Okay. These kind of advanced questions wouldn't be possible. You asked very intelligent, tricky, and difficult questions because you already did the basics. Okay. So this is an interesting proposal, but don't think that this is the final truth. This is what Socrates said. This is how he looked at things, and there are certain issues, and what do we do? Let me tell you, coming to the examination, because yesterday you tried an answer. In the beginning, you just feel, what is all this? I mean, what is there to think? But as you know more, you will have more things and issues, and you will be taking certain positions like that. For example, today you discussed happiness, goodness. connection, society, individual, introspection. I'm sure if we don't do like this, these would be somewhat vague. It is like that. So when you know more and know them with more clarity, you will have more to write. So to others, they may think there is only very little to write, but you will think, okay, there is a lot. There are many issues, positions to take. Okay, like that. Next. So these three quotations: unexamined life is not worth living. Virtue is knowledge. And no one does evil voluntarily. That is the third one. No one does evil voluntarily. Okay. No one does evil voluntarily. That is the third one. Why does he think so? No one does evil voluntarily means Socrates thinks that if he knows that doing evil will make him unhappy, why will he do? So it is in that sense. No one does evil voluntarily. He's doing it because he doesn't know. He's ignorant. So solution to the problem of evil is education. Okay. So take this as an assignment for Padlet. Okay. Solution to the problem of evil is education. Okay. Now, one different question. Can you tell me similarities between Socrates and Gandhi? I put some questions. Similarities between Socrates and Gandhi.
Sir, may I try?
Sunil.
So both were ready to, Gandhi and Socrates both were ready to die but not give up on their virtues.
Exactly. Both are prepared to die for a cause, and both did die. Gandhi in communalism and Socrates. In fact, Socrates was a great hero to Gandhi. Martyrdom, dying for a cause. Okay. That is one. Next.
So I'm equating here the truth that Gandhi wanted to seek
Exactly.
with
Very good
the
answer, Sunil. Gandhi believed that there is truth in the other person. That is just what Socrates is saying. It is because of ignorance. He is like that. And when he sees truth, truth, he will. And the ability to see is there within him. That is what truth is. So basically, both of them think they are doing evil out of ignorance. So education is the solution to the problem of evil. The evildoer can see the truth. So both have a compassionate understanding of the other. If they are doing, if a bad person is doing bad, it is not because of his intrinsic nature, but because of certain wrong ideas, lack of knowledge, And if he understands, he will behave differently. Gandhi called that truth. And next, one more specific idea of civil resistance. Just
Sir.
okay. Deepti has. Okay.
Both would not give an apology for their actions if they believed that it was a service to the country or to humanity.
Exactly. Not only they won't apologize, but in fact they would actively resist. Don't you think what Socrates did is a similar thing? I mean, Gandhi did was just what Socrates did long ago. Why? I teach and I don't lie that I am not teaching. And what I am doing is unlawful to you, but immoral to me. So punish me and I'll drink. That is just what Gandhi did. So I break the law and take the punishment. What were people like Tilak doing before? They were breaking the law, but they were avoiding punishment. They will say, no, they did not do any seditious activities. They will argue in the court. They were not doing any seditious activities. But Gandhi would break the law and go all out and say, yes, I broke the law and punish me. That is what Socrates did. So why didn't Socrates escape from the jail? His answer was, state protected me, state institutions helped me, I took their help all along. Now I have to accept the law, but law is unjust, so I'm taking the punishment. It is like that. So he didn't question state's ability to punish, but he only questioned, was that the ground? Exactly, that is what Gandhi did. What you think is duty of state, that what you think is unlawful is my moral duty. So peaceful opposition, break the law and take the punishment. And in that process, educate the people so that the nature of the state is changed. Isn't it so? And both non-violent. Anyway, Gandhi was inspired by Socrates. Gandhi translated Socratic trial into Gujarati. Socrates inspired so many people. Okay.
So like both didn't oppose the state, but the ignorance of the state or evil of the state.
Exactly. Whereas Marxists won't mind using violence, won't mind attacking the state, won't mind running away. Gandhi's, Socrates' methods are different. I accept the state, you have the right to punish, but your law is unjust, so you punish me. And in this process, people are educated and state is transformed.
Sir, but don't you think that Gandhi's and Socrates methods work only in democracies or something there is like a court or hearing, but in dictatorships or anything, they won't be, a person like Gandhi and Socrates won't even exist, right?
That is true. How far Gandhi and Socrates would survive in a dictatorship, we will look into. But in democracy, that's what they did. But anyway, British government was not democratic, right?
Yes, sir.
though it was not dictatorial, but it was not democratic.
But it has some rights for the people, like at least British themselves have
They
some
didn't
rights.
actually grant rights, but whatever the freedom that was given was being used by these people. But anyway, whether those methods are effective or not in every situation, we will look into. But this is the similarity. The systems are good enough that they are giving them a voice to speak their case. They just didn't go and kill Socrates. They didn't go and kill Gandhi. Good enough where Gandhi
Sir,
could.
but on the other hand, whatever Gandhi did, it didn't really transform the British government. More than that, it strengthened the freedom movement. It transformed or awoke the people.
No, it finally went right. 1935 Act, 1947. It was an accumulation, gradual changes, and finally nothing more to change, and so they left. So gradual change, and more importantly, it was not about the British government. They were educating not the government but the society. That's
Yeah.
what they were doing.
Yeah, that's what I felt, sir.
That's fine. State was changing, but because society was changing, they were educating the people. Okay.
Do we have similar
No,
examples?
just 1 second. Are you able to follow? There are so many ways in which you can think about the same event. And do you know, if you think like this, what happens is that you will write these people at many places. You don't need to know so many thinkers. Around 10-15 people, most of them good people, but some bad people, because you have variety of examples. If you understand them, you can easily write. Okay. The more at more fundamental level they are involved, more useful they are. So Gandhi and Socrates are like that. Deepthi, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Hanumanta, where are you? Are you following or not following? Okay. Sunil, you are saying something?
Sir, I was asking, like Gandhi got inspired by Socrates. So, are there similar examples where non-violence, finding truth, and
We will see. We will work out. There are other examples also. We will see. Okay. Okay, Hanumanta, audio and video are not functioning. Okay, fine. I am following. Thank you. Actually, in most online courses, only chat function works, right? Audio and video are disabled. Okay. Next. But it is good. You raised very advanced questions. We could never reach this stage. So what are the resolutions from today's class? Before I forget, let us write questions at one place. I don't have to write. I'll create a platform. Whatever the questions, what are the tricky questions you raised in the class, are questions that need to be resolved later, just write. Lesson Socrates, lesson 1, topic, and then write questions. Okay. And next, you should be regular with Padlet. So that question on silence, I know it's difficult, but this is very easy. And now you know so much. Okay. So writing Padlet. And you can read this book, watch video, and make your own points and think about it. the more you think, the more you internalize, then more frequently you will use. Remember, they are not going to ask you, they are less likely to ask why Socrates was hanged or asked to take poison. No. Maximum they give a Socrates statement, or they need not give. Only once they gave Socrates statement. I think maybe 2-3 times, that's all. But then at many places you can use, but you can do like that only when you internalize and think in variety of ways. Okay, only when you internalize with ease you will be able to apply. But when you don't internalize, you can't answer. Deepti, please.
Sir, in case they give a Socrates quotation or a statement, can we start the essay or the answer by identifying it and giving the context in which Socrates said?
Sure, you can. When you know the thinker, you write the context. When you don't know the thinker, but when you understand the quotation and the spirit, then you write without reference to the thinker.
Okay.
Sure. In fact, historically, if you see, Socrates was punished because of variety of reasons. It was not simply because, that was a frustrated state. It was so hugely successful at one time, but decades of war, defeated by Spartans. And so they were trying to find a scapegoat. And Socrates was accused of all kinds of things, some of which he was not at all responsible. Okay. So, in the trial, they said that there are people who said that they respected Socrates like that. Socrates, the crimes of Socrates students also were attributed to Socrates and his thinking. So there are many things. So context will help. Context will help. And let me tell you, as long as you are writing something related, it is useful. Exam is too diverse. Okay, within the word limit or within the time limit, not the word limit. If you can write more, that's preferable. Okay. In fact, what I understood from Divya's answers is that I was shocked that so many can be written as an answer to a question. So many points, so many examples, so many issues can be addressed. So exam is like that. I'm thinking that what she said about ethics paper, I want to apply to optional subjects also. Same approach. A lot of content. Okay. Next. So we'll write questions and Padlet, and we will continue this discussion. We'll do Plato and Aristotle tomorrow. Okay. So tell me, is the approach clear?
Yes.
And if you miss a class, you can watch a recorded session. Okay. Soon I'll give you access to recorded classes.
So in the beginning, these three quotations seemed very different and diverse to me. Now they are all pointing to.
Very good. Very good. That is to understand essence. Very good. Deepti.
Sir, can we have a broad overview about how the course will continue? Like 6 to 7 classes on philosophers and thinkers, then what we will be dealing with, then what we will be dealing with.
Okay.
Just so that it will be easy for us to navigate.
Sure. See, these thinkers is one. See, this is the book IAS Ethics and Essay, previous questions till 2020. 2020 paper is not included. Okay. I gave a classification, polity, economy, like this. And then I have also given classification of essays, all the previous essays. So what it means is that I have certain thinkers, case studies, and socio-political issues, and administrative issues. Okay. So some classes on administration, some classes on thinkers, some classes on case studies. Where do essays come? Whenever we do reflective essays, this is the essay topic as well as quotation topic. Essays are covered. When we do social and political issues, something of a case study is covered and essay also is covered. So totally in around 30 plus sessions, we will be able to complete. And after 7-8 classes, you will have a 3-hour test. So this is, so if you want to know the organization, you can do this book. Okay, basically under certain headlines, for example, attitude, about yourself, gender, corruption. This is the way previous questions are organized. Okay, you can take that book. You can order for it from Notion Press. Okay, so these are the 2 books you can order: Ethical Thought and this 2. Okay, one administration book is there. I'll give PDF of that, and then you can get a Xerox copy. So these 3 books should do.
Sir, can you post the link for these books?
Notion Press. Notion. Okay, I'll post the link. Fine.
Sir, will we be dealing with, for example, if we are sitting in the exam and a topic comes, we have to brainstorm and then connect everything, right? Those techniques and that methods.
Sure. This the way we are doing. All this helps. When you are attempting an answer, all these techniques will help. Okay. We'll take the actual questions, but actually the things that we discuss will be at a much higher level. Okay. So case studies also are very simple. Okay. So you buy these 2 from Notion Press. Whatever the books you want to buy, you can buy from the same store, because buying all at one time will reduce the transportation cost or delivery costs. Okay, I'll give the link, no problem. Okay, next. So Deepthi, is the strategy clear?
Yes, sir.
So category wise, this is the book. For example, I'll be doing gender, corruption, civil service, development and displacement, like this, child labor.
Sir, regarding the content, you are helping us to learn how to think and accumulate the ideas.
Content,
and then
videos
put them in.
plus some documents and some PDF books. That's all.
No, sir. What I mean to ask is, for example, we have to gather our own content, right? For example, regarding gender, facts, statistics, or other things.
No.
How should we do it?
No, I will be giving some common material, and whatever the extra you have, you can use. But I will be giving some material on gender. For example, domestic violence, sexual harassment. I will be giving material. Nationalism. I'll be giving material. On all the topics I am doing, I will be giving material either in video format or PDF format.
Oh, okay, so that was my doubt.
Exactly, but I expect not to confine to that.
Yes,
that's
sir.
all.
Yes. Okay,
but I will be giving material on everything.
Okay.
One doubt. So
Sorry.
regarding the differences between Socrates and Gandhi, so can we say like this, like Gandhi at one point of time, his principles were like ahimsa, non-violence, so these he has tried to reverse during Quit India movement. Like, I mean, that is the only place where he meant like we'll go to extremes even if it is violence also. So something like that. I mean, some sources say that Quit India movement is the only place where Gandhi never opposed this non-violence or something like that. But so based on that, can we say like Socrates is a person who didn't change his principle till the death? But Gandhi, based
But
on
we
the
can't say
circumstances.
Gandhi changed non-violence principle. That Quit India movement can be examined. That's one. But more importantly, we know only one event about Socrates, but Gandhi is a life that is so closely examined by so many people and over so many decades, and he was a mass leader. So these two are not comparable. We can't say Gandhi is inconsistent. In fact, Gandhi did not deny non-violence. But when you examine a person over decades, you will see certain inconsistencies. But you can't compare with Socrates. We know very little about Socrates. Okay. So whatever we know is from Plato mostly, that is in the Republic. But we'll discuss. There, Socrates' character is created. We don't exactly know whether that was spoken by Socrates or Plato. Just like that. So Gandhi's life is well recorded, well detailed. Socrates' life is not like that.
Thank you.
Okay, so